Over the next couple of videos, we are going to learn 8 musical symbols that deal with rhythm. And these are not the only 8 symbols that we'll be working with this semester, but these 8 symbols will get us a surprisingly long way. So I'd like to start with the musical symbol that tells us to make a sound for one beat. And that musical symbol is called the quarter note. The quarter note means make a sound for one beat. A quarter note, if we look at it, looks like this. There's a note head, just like this. And coming from that note head is a line that we call a stem. That is a quarter note. And again, the quarter note tells us to make a sound for one beat. I'm going to draw a few more quarter notes here. And then I'm going to perform them, just so we can see what it sounds like to perform a quarter note. Let me do maybe 6 of them just to give us a little run here of quarter notes. 5 and 6. Here we go. Now, one of the things that we'll very often do, there are lots of different ways that we can perform rhythms. I could perform a rhythm on the piano. I could clap it. But one of the ways that we perform rhythms often in theory and musicianship classes is we'll use the syllable ta. There's nothing magical about the syllable. It's just a useful syllable because it has a nice percussive start, and then the ah at the end lets us hold out the note if it needs to be held out. So I'm going to perform this at a tempo of 60 beats per minute. So I've got my metronome here. I'm going to set my metronome to 60 beats per minute, and then I'm going to perform for you these 6 quarter notes. Here we go. Ta, 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 ta. There we go. Simple enough. If I wanted to add more quarter notes, I could do that. Let's try that. I'll add one at the end here. I'll add one at the beginning. I've got my metronome set for 60 beats per minute. Here we go. Ta, 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 ta. And there I go. I've sung or spoken my 8 quarter notes. By the way, very often you will see tempo indicated in a piece with a quarter note. You'll see this symbol at the beginning of a piece of music. Quarter note equals 60, and that tells us that the tempo of the piece is going to be that the quarter note is going to get 60 beats per minute. There's another related symbol to the quarter note that I'd like to tell you about, and that is the quarter rest. The quarter rest. And where the quarter note tells us to make a sound for one beat, the quarter rest tells us to be silent for one beat. So the quarter rest. I'm going to write for you a quarter rest. Quarter rest is one of the more difficult symbols to write. We'll talk about that a little bit later on this semester. But a quarter rest looks like this. So a quarter note means make a sound for one beat. A quarter rest means be silent for one beat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of these quarter notes I've got up here. Let's take this one out. And let's take this one out. And I'm going to replace those quarter notes with quarter rests. So the third beat here will be a quarter rest. And the second to last beat will also be a quarter rest. All right. Now let me perform this example for you. Again, at 60 beats per minute. Here we go. Ta, 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 ta. So did you hear that? on the third beat and on the second to last beat. Instead of saying ta, I just was silent. So the quarter note means make a sound for one beat. The quarter rest means be silent for one beat.